How will a dopamine detox slash instant gratification reduction save your life? Now, firstly, a quick disclaimer. There's a lot of YouTubers making their videos about dopamine detoxes, and they're all saying that it can reset your mind in 24 hours. They're all lying to get views. You can't reset your mind in 24 hours. That's just clickbait. There is no quick one-day fix to fix your mind. You've been contaminating your mind and your brain using social media and the internet heavily for most of your life, and you cannot outdo that damage in 24 hours. Anyone who says otherwise is lying to you just because they want to make it like a quick fix that's marketable to millions of people. A dopamine detox is the clickbait word, but reducing instant gratification is the long-term behavior that you can do for the rest of your life, and you will reap the benefits of it for as long as you do it. So it's no surprise right now that the majority of people are unhappy, they're depressed, they're unfulfilled with their lives, with their work, with their entire day-to-day structure and their lifestyle. There's a lot of reasons for this. Social media, in my opinion, is one of the biggest ones because it's created a 24-hour social comparison. So I imagine, obviously I'm 23, so I don't really get to experience much of life without social media, but I imagine how it used to be for maybe our parents' times, that when they finished school, that was it. That was the end of their social comparison. Not always being able to see how everyone else is 24 hours of the day, and that is the problem. This era of social connectivity is the problem, because now you can always see someone happier than you within just 2 seconds of you clicking on Instagram. And yeah, you might know the truth. You might know that everyone using Instagram isn't happier than you, and pretty much everyone who uses it constantly is quite depressed, even though they're smiling on their pictures. But it doesn't matter. The research and the data still shows that when you use social media, you'll see it and you'll feel unhappy. Abstaining from easy dopamines, in other words, reducing your instant gratification, means that you'll just be doing less of the activities that bring you instant pleasure right now. Now, that might seem weird. Why would you not want to do the activities that give you instant pleasure? Well, these activities, although they give you an instant happiness, feel-good dopamine boost right now, these result in long-term happiness decreases. Put it this way, if you forgot everything else and you went on your phone right now on Instagram, you would have more fun and more entertainment and more fulfillment than if you did homework. I think everyone would agree with me. It's more fun to do it. Just in 1 hour of Instagram is more fun than 1 hour of homework. But let's look at this on a long-term scale. If this 1 hour of Instagram is something that you do every single day, and you skip the homework, or you rush it, or you don't do it as good as to your maximum potential, if you keep choosing the easy, instant gratification, so Instagram instead of the homework, your life is just going to get slowly and slowly worse. The more you choose this, the less homework you're going to be doing. Put it the other way around. This is the delayed gratification. This is the hard work that feels uncomfortable. It makes you feel tired. It makes you feel like your brain's getting fried a little bit, but it results in long-term happiness. The more you do your homework, the more you'll feel happy with your life, because you'll get the higher grades, your plans and your goals. The companies and the businesses revolved around the instant gratification are hundreds of billions of dollars of industry. They have got the engineers, they've got the software developers and the engineers who have made this stuff as addictive as possible so that it still feels like fun. And this is where the problem comes in. Everyone feels like social media and the instant gratifications are the fun, enjoyable activities, because of course they're enjoyable, right? And homework and hard work and exercise is the opposite. It's not easy, it's not enjoyable, right? Well, ask anyone who has been exercising for a couple of years consistently how they felt when they first started. Ask me. When you first start, it isn't enjoyable. Problem is that learning curve, because with the learning curve comes the enjoyment curve. It's at the same period. You don't enjoy exercise or hard work when you first start because it's so uncomfortable and so different from your usual state of just lying in your bed and scrolling on your phone. You're literally just like, what is the word? Holy shit. I just realized how weird that is. that it's just normal. I've done this for most of my life. You who's watching this has probably done this for most of your life. Just lie down and just scroll on your phone. I haven't done that in so long that I just thought about it and I just realized how messed up that is. Like, what kind of human, like what kind of animal does that? It's like you're literally disabled. That's actually disgusting. I can't believe I literally just had a realization of how weird that is, that people will literally just be scrolling on the side of their phone. This is probably offending you right now. I'm hoping that it's not. I'm hoping that the people who are watching this at least don't feel offended at the things I'm saying and view it as constructive criticism, that this is something you need to improve on. If you're lying sideways on your bed scrolling and watching this video right now, I'm talking to you. Are you happy, like completely happy with your life right now? The answer is probably no. If you said yes, honestly, I'd assume you're lying. How did you find the coronavirus lockdown? And they'll say, oh, it was so boring. It was boring. I had nothing to do. But you still had the internet. You still scrolled and watched stuff every single day, didn't you? And it was still boring. Because you're not happy, you're not enjoying these things anyway. It's an addiction, that's the thing. Pretty much everyone is addicted to instant gratification. The problem with an addiction is that it also brings the same personality, which makes you strike out at someone who's clarifying that you do have an addiction and you do need to focus to improve yourself. So when I bring up this topic, I feel like some people do get offended. And it's not so much that that person is getting offended, it's that the addiction in their head feels scared. It feels like someone's being critical to it. The addiction is offended. So dopamine detox, or reducing instant gratification, how will that save your life? To understand how it save your life, we have to just think about your life's pathway right now. If you're like most people, I'm assuming your happiness started here when you were a child and it just slowly went down and down and down and down. It had some peaks when you made some new friends and experiences and when you got a new job and whatever, but it's gradually went down as you became an adult. And this is because of that instant gratification. This is because you didn't do enough of those delayed gratification activities that result in the long-term happiness. You must do those, and you must do them enough so that the long-term happiness of the delayed gratification activities result in a positive balance compared to the instant gratification. So when we do instant gratifications, we're taking happiness from tomorrow. When we do delayed gratification, we're giving happiness tomorrow. And if you haven't done delayed gratification activities recently or in the last few years, then most likely you feel pretty depressed and unfulfilled right now. A lot of people just find it quite hard to admit, and the people who need to hear this most won't, because they're scrolling on TikTok right now and they're scrolling on Instagram right now. So how can you use a instant gratification reduction to save your life? Simple. Do exactly what it says. Reduce instant gratification, increase delayed gratification. Now, if that's the most recent video I've posted, I've went into like a little bit of detail on this, and this is obviously the video where I go into a lot more detail, but if you haven't watched that one, you can do. Do you need to do a dopamine detox / reduce your instant gratification? The answer is probably yes. Are you genuinely 100% happy with your life right now? No. I don't think almost anyone can answer yes to that question, and I genuinely believe that's because of instant gratification. If you feel like there is progress to be made, you can make improvements to your life, then you should do one of these, because this is that improvement that you want and you will feel happier with. So I mentioned earlier that this isn't something you can do in 24 hours. So maybe you're thinking, okay, I'm kind of interested, but how long does this take? Because I don't want to be just reading books for an entire month or 2 months or the rest of my life. It's hard to say. If I was just trying to get views on YouTube, I could just tell you like, oh, trick your mind into enjoying hard things in 24 hours and reset your mind in 24 hours. But that's a lie. That is full on a lie. There is no progress to be made in 24 hours, like for anything. If you want long-term progress, it's long-term actions. You must choose a lifestyle behavior set that you can do today and then also continue for months, years, the rest of your life. And that's how you become successful in this. The people who are trying to get that 24-hour difference right now are the same people who want to go to the gym once and try and work out for 4 hours and then expect to wake up jacked the next day, or the people who have ate shit their entire lives and then they eat good for like 2 days and they're annoyed that their weight didn't go down. These are the people who won't make any positive progress in their lives because they're just impatient. And I feel sorry for them because that is literally a result of the instant gratification that they're trying to fix. It's all like a cycle. So I would say one of the first ways to start this is to admit the problem. You must admit that there is progress to be made. You must say it out loud. Say it out loud, write it down, say it to your family or your friends and tell them that you might actually think that how much of these instant gratification activities you've been doing, how much you've been lying down and scrolling on your phone, how much you've been playing video games your entire lives, how many hours you've put into that stuff, you have to admit that all those hours must equal something negative, because they obviously didn't equal something positive if after all of that you feel like you're not too happy right now. Here's a question that I find a lot of people feel uncomfortable with. How much do you genuinely enjoy those activities? Now, every single person says that they really enjoy Netflix and they really enjoy video games. I feel like that's not a lie, but I just feel like these people genuinely are wrong. It's like they don't even know how they feel, because if you like recorded them, or if you watched yourself watching movies, if you watch yourself playing games, I can guarantee you that you wouldn't really think that you were enjoying it if you watched it from a third person view. How do you watch movies? Like you just sat there like mouth breathing. How do you play video games? You just sat there mouth breathing. Maybe in the entire 1 to 5 hour session, maybe in the entire movie, you laugh once. You laugh twice, you smile and you laugh through breathing your nose. That's it. Or maybe you killed 3 people in your Fortnite game and you had like 3 minutes of fun, and for the rest of it you were literally just like this, like you're not enjoying these anywhere near as much. And if you were, you wouldn't be answering no to the question that is asked, are you happy right now? And that's the problem. People can't put 2 and 2 together. You ask someone, are you happy right now? They say no, if they're telling the truth. Then you say, okay, so obviously all of the things you're doing right now are not resulting in happiness. So don't you feel like changing and reducing the biggest thing you do, which is instant gratification, could help? And they'll be like, no, because I enjoy those things. But did you? Because if you're not even happy, are you even enjoying them? You're making a choice that pushes you to make the same choice again and again. So it's essentially like you just become used to that choice. Going to the gym for the first time is quite hard. Going to the gym for the 1000th time is easy, and it's actually enjoyable. Eating junk food for the first time is easy. Eating junk food for the 1000th time is easy. Whereas the more and more you choose this, the more and more positive benefits you get. Plus the fact that you further solidify this type of behavior. You further solidify the behavior that chooses the delayed gratification. And so you've got to know that every single choice you make is bigger than that choice that you just made. Because not only have you just made the choice between bad and good, you've also made the choice to solidify the actual behavior pattern. And so therefore it is literally compounding interest. The more you choose the delayed gratification, the more and more it will compound together, and you will result in a happier, more fulfilled lifestyle. The more you choose the instant gratification, the more and more it will compound together, and you'll be more likely to choose the instant gratification again and again and again. This is why people get obese instead of just overweight, because they can't stop doing the same action over and over. And this is why people get jacked once they get into exercise, and it compounds and compounds, and every single time you go to the gym you're just strengthening that behavior pattern to go to the gym even more and more and more. So every single time you go to the gym, not only did you benefit from that gym session, you also benefited from the fact that that behavior pattern and all of that lifestyle got strengthened one more time. And this is the major key that I feel sad that so many people don't know, and they just can't really internalize this message, because I feel like they're missing out on life. I feel like if you're just choosing instant gratifications like the majority of people, you are not living. You're literally just waiting until the next substance, the next hit of dopamine. And that is probably how these people feel when you take everything away, when they're not really watching anything on Netflix and they're not eating junk food. They'll be sat there just feeling like awkward. And what I just realized is that it's not even like that. Honestly, they won't even get that clarity of feeling awkward with social media and your mobile phones, that they don't get that time to just sit and feel awkward, because as soon as they're done watching Netflix or eating the junk food or whatever, then it's quickly time to go on their phones and just fill the void with more and more and more scrolling. And that's the problem. We've got access to all of this stuff right now. Within just a millisecond, you can access anything. And that isn't a good thing, because we can't control it. And it takes a huge amount of confidence to admit that me personally, me, Hamza, I cannot control it. I cannot control video games. I cannot control junk food. If I get into video games again, I will play 10 hours a day. If I get into junk food again, I will binge eat most days. I cannot control it. And this is coming from someone who has spent most of his adult life trying to control it. And it took me 6 years to be able to get to a point where I feel like I've got some kind of control over my cravings and my addiction to video games. And that is because I took away all of the interest out of them. Maybe no one's even watched to this point of the video. That's another problem with this instant gratification, is that long videos literally fall off on the viewer watch time because people's attention span isn't good enough for them. So YouTubers, and I'm trying to be a YouTuber, we need to do gimmicks to keep audience watch time and keep that spike of attention, because the average person is so attention deficit. Instagram and the era of social media means that every single second that you scroll has another hit of dopamine. It's another picture, another post. Not even every second, like every millisecond you'll have like 3 posts on your phone, on Facebook. On Instagram, you scroll half a second on each picture, and it's got to the point where you're taking in so much that you can't even sit through and watch a video anymore without scrolling down to the comments to try and get more dopamine. Where the majority of people can't read a book because as they're reading, they just get complex thoughts about other stuff, because your brains just process so much and too much. We're not supposed to see like a new piece of information every half a second, especially not something that spikes that thing inside of us that shows that other people are having fun without you. That's what's causing the major depression in the world. And obviously maybe I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the moment you take a step back from the most common instant gratifications, which is social media, junk food, video games, porn, honestly, I feel like they're the most ones. And what's interesting is that 3 out of 4 are related to the internet. When the internet was just getting more and more popular when we were all kids, if you're around my age, and your parents used to tell you about the dangers of the internet, they were kind of right. And now what's interesting is that all of our parents are addicted as well. This addiction doesn't care about your age or your gender or your race. Everyone's addicted to this stuff. It's taken me years to reduce my social media intake to minimal. I don't scroll. I don't even post anymore. The last things I post about is on Reddit to just share my video, and I don't think that counts as posting. It's literally just me trying to get more views. It's taken me years to do that. I wanted to quit this stuff years ago. If anyone has watched all of this length of a video, I want to try and give you some very, very in-detailed advice. This is probably going to be like a 20-minute video, and I don't expect anyone really to sit through it. So if there's anyone literally still watching this part, leave a comment, because I feel like we're on the same page. I feel like me and you would actually have a conversation about this. It's quite an isolating journey. The moment you give up these instant dopamines, these instant gratifications, particularly social media, you just realize how fucking lonely life is. Social media had that cover over life, because at any point that you felt lonely, if you scrolled, you just suddenly saw 10 friends and it felt like you just had a social experience. The moment you give that up, the moment you're not even filling up your time with video games and stuff, you start thinking more. And you start realizing like it's lonely, but in a weird way, where you don't really want to be friends with those people anyway. You don't want to be friends with the people who are scrolling every day, because you just start to have nothing in common with them the moment you quit. And that's why I'm so grateful for the few friends I've got right now who are on the same page as me. They know who they are. Maybe they're hopefully watching this video all the way through. They better be. But you know who you are if you're one of those friends that you've reduced your social media intake, you've reduced your instant gratification, and you've increased your delayed gratification. Because me and you have probably had a discussion or a conversation about it recently. If you're one of these people, you're quite a hard-working, high-performance male. Honestly, there's no women I know who are like this. And that means that we're busy, which means that our friendship is still there. We are friends, of course, and we're talking online, but we're missing that face-to-face brotherhood contact. And it's a bit, obviously that's a bit sad, and that's the life that we're in right now, because these companies, these instant gratification businesses have made the world like this. And they've just found the way to spike that part of your brain that makes it so addictive that literally every single person is in that trap. And a few people who are climbing out of it are struggling every single day, and we're working hard to it. And that is kind of like my goal in my channel. Obviously, I've said on my channel trailer that the biggest things that I've wanted to do is to teach physical and mental health. And I feel like this is as good as the mental health knowledge can get. Now, obviously, we can go into specifics about reducing symptoms and this and that, but honestly, I was going to say easiest, but it's not easy, but one of the best things you can do is reduce that instant gratification, get into the habit of doing the delayed gratification, and instantly, I can assure you, most of your mental health problems will start to solve themselves. And that sounds like an insult to people, because someone will say, oh, but I'm diagnosed with depression and I need this medication and this and that, and it's a scientific thing that you don't understand. But would you still have any of these symptoms if you didn't play video games, if you didn't scroll on social media for 10 hours? And they would say, yes, I would have these because it's genetic and this and that. But like, if we did an experiment, I am 100% sure you wouldn't. Humans, just like any animal, should feel happy if you have the things to survive. And if you're watching this video, you literally have the things to survive. If you're watching this video on a phone or a laptop or a computer or a TV, that means you've got internet. That means that you understand English to a decent level. You have the things to survive. So it sounds horrible to say, but you have no excuse to be unhappy. But the excuse is these instant gratifications, because they have stole happiness from tomorrow. And suddenly it is tomorrow. You've done these instant gratification activities for so long that now you have a period of tomorrows, of a long time that has no happiness. And the only way you can solve that is to embrace that lack of happiness and not try to cover it with more instant gratification. You have to embrace the unhappiness, embrace the fried dopamine receptors, and start doing the delayed gratification activities right now, and then trust the process. Know that it takes weeks, months, years to get the results that you want. But as soon as they start coming in, when it rains, it pours. It comes in, and it comes in heavy. It just keeps on coming. The positives of it don't go away. You start weightlifting today, you'll see some benefit in a month. But if you never stop, within 1 month, you've also made the gains that you'll see the next month. Gains and the results of a delayed gratification activity are lagging. They lag behind. They take some time to arrive. But once they do, all of them add on to each other. And before you know it, you're more and more addicted to the delayed gratification. And that means it secures your long-term happiness and fulfillment. I can't even explain to you how much a muscular aesthetic body helps with this, especially if you're a male. This was the first thing that I actually did, which was a delayed gratification. I never worked hard in school. I never worked hard in general. Going to the gym was the first thing I did, which took hard work today for results that come in months later. And it reframed how I saw the world, because then it made me believe in progress. it made me believe that you can literally make progress if you keep this positive mindset that you can just keep getting better and better, but also knowing that it does take time, that you need to go in and feel uncomfortable today so that you can feel better in a month. And then you just trust the process. You keep your head down and you go and work hard because you know in a month's time you're going to feel better. That's how you save your life. This is like the longest video I've ever recorded in my life. If you've watched this far, make sure you leave a comment. I want to talk to you.